Hi folks, Joblot Comics here, having a look at another old Bronze Age Superboy starring the Legion of Superheroes. This is quite early on in that run where they combined Superboy with the Legion, issue number 209. This has got a particularly interesting storyline in it, and we've got a very dramatic cover here. Who will save the princess? Yeah, it's got Mike Grell down there. Now, what I will say to you is, I'm not sure if that looks like Mike Grell. To me, that looks like Nick Cardy. Is it Mike Grell over the top of Nick Cardy? I don't know. What do you think? Comic historians, let me know. Anyway, on the inside here, we're getting our very own sort of DC version of Wolverine here, Timberwolf, and the art by Mike Grell and of course Jim Shooter, who was writing this. It's from 1975. Jim Shooter had been writing Adventure Comics Legion of Superheroes when he was as young as 16, so it's quite an interesting story. There's plenty of videos about Jim Shooter's work. I think Jim was probably getting a really bad rap at the time as being somebody that was hard to work with and a bit of a tyrant and a bully, but I don't know. I think maybe he was just being very, very, very effective, yeah. Anyway, the storyline here, you see Princess Projectra's in a whole lot of trouble, and you know the story's kind of revolving around about that there, and it was quite an interesting thing. Such a big cast of characters, and we were at a time here in the 70s. We've left the Silver Age of the Legion of Superheroes, and we're getting into a much more sort of grittier version, and you know we're also getting a new costume. And why not two? So yeah, it's quite a, it's a really, although it's sci-fi, DC sci-fi, it's a far cry from those adventures back in the day with the Legion of Superheroes. And if you ever read those old adventure comics, yeah, you'll know that they were, they were quite silly. But they're trying to save Princess Projectra with this. Look at that Kirby Crackle. And they're all taking a shot at using this machine where they try and save her life. Superboy's there, and eventually we get to a nice sort of, you were ill, but you're okay now, thanks to the Legion. I'll explain later after you get some rest. So yeah, no, it's quite a funny little short story type thing, yeah. You can see we're in the middle pages here. So what did they fill the rest with? Well, we're going to get another Legion of Superheroes. Flint Bronze, welcome to the Legion. So imagine getting a chance to spend 24 hours in the most famous super teens of the 30th century, the Legionnaires. But for this avid young fan who wins the honour, his dream come true becomes a nightmare, and the very lives of his idols depend on whether he can become a hero for the day. It's written by Cary Bates, and we've got Mike doing the artwork again here. So yeah, and really another sort of very Silver Age story, you know, kid becomes a member of the... What else is going on? Stalker by Steve Ditko and Beowulf by... I don't know who did Beowulf. So yeah, we get this silly story. You can see Grell's art's really quite nice here. And it's one of these stories where you know exactly where this is going to go and what's going to happen, and it's all tied up in about 8 pages. Yeah, good lord. Here's the letters page. We've got a note from the editor. Yep. Jim Shooter's back with this issue. Who saved the princess? Yeah. Where they were trying to get Jim to come back in, probably because the title was kind of floundering. Yeah. And then you get this weird thing that they used to have to put this statement of ownership. This used to go in the back of DC Comics. Did anybody ever read this? Total number of copies printed, net press run. Oh, this shadow's terrible, isn't it? So you can see it's giving you sort of how many copies were being printed and stuff, yeah? Isn't that weird? Pause that and look at it. You'll not believe what it says. The information that was available, we never even looked at it. There we go. So yeah, that's a nice little sort of fun 2 stories in this issue of Legion of Superheroes, yeah. I love them. It was a great era. Thanks for looking. Why don't you hit the subscribe button? Thank you to everybody who's already done that. You know that I really do appreciate it. I tell you, is that Mike Grill? Oh, I don't know. Nick Cardy, I think. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.